Hi everybody, good afternoon, probably, depending on where you are, potentially good morning, and thank you for joining us on December's edition of Quinyx Unlocked. We're going to kick off now, just a few bits of preamble before we get to the meat of the event. You're in listen-only mode, so we can't see or hear you. If you do have a question or any feedback, then drop it in the chat and we'll either address it live or follow up by email afterward. The session's being recorded, so we will share the replay in case you want to share it with your colleagues. And if you do have any further questions, do feel free to dig around in our help docs offering, where there may be more information on some of the topics that we're covering today. By way of introduction, I'm Tom Spelling. I'm Product Director for Engage at Quinyx, so looking after the portfolio of things which are around frontline engagement. I've been with the firm for about 3 years. I'm joined by Johannes, who is our Senior Product Manager and has been with Quinyx for a lot longer than that and may be known to many of you joining today. Today's focus is around our recent integration of the Employee Hub tasks into our scheduling capabilities, but we're aware that not everyone is going to know what the Employee Hub is. So we'll start with a brief overview of the Employee Hub, which I'll run, and then I'll hand over to Johannes to take you through some of the recent advances that we've made before recapping with any questions. With that in mind, what is the Employee Hub? The Employee Hub, as the name suggests, is a single point where we're trying to bring all of the important sources of content that you need to get to your frontline workforce. So for us, that includes things like tasks, stories or news, files, events and a shared calendar, forms or tickets, so kind of help requests, and links to key systems. And just to bring some of those to life a little bit, because they may mean different things to different people. Tasks can be things like product recalls, they can be safety tasks, they can be branding tasks, they could be pieces of training or compliance that need to be carried out or checked, or they can be the day-to-day things that need to be carried out to allow your store, your gym, your restaurant, your unit to run effectively. Anything where somebody needs to instruct a person or a team, maybe with some actual instructions, maybe with a deadline, and they need to know when the thing is done and who it was completed by, fits into our tasking capabilities. The Employee Hub also has stories, so those are things that you need the team to know. So news is the obvious one. Information on competitions, promotions, building a sense of community in your organization, can all be published through our stories capability, and it also gives you the ability to capture feedback and comments and engagement and responses from your team as well. Files typically will be guides on key tools or processes within the organization. It might be HR policies, it might be information on products, or it might be content to do with promotions or images, anything along those lines, anything that you need your frontline workforce to have access to. And for the last three, hopefully these are a little bit more obvious, but events and calendar gives you shared visibility of the things going on in the world, which might affect the day-to-day job for your frontline. Forms, as I say, are tickets going back to a central team, so things like maintenance requests and so on, and links to key systems, hopefully, is self-explanatory. Why use a task and communication hub? So everyone has tasks and communications that flow through their organization, but not everyone chooses to pull them into a single managed system. From our perspective, having a single source of the truth, having a single channel to communicate out these tasks, track progress, and manage your communications is going to save thousands of hours for your central teams sending out and managing those tasks, and also for the people fulfilling them, knowing where to go for the right answer, being able to track whether something is done without having to pick up the phone or go through one of 800 WhatsApp messages or iMessages or Facebook messages is just a massive time saver. You're providing effective enablement and support for the front line, so everything is delivered within the Quinyx application itself. Within the app, you'll have all your tasks, you'll have all your news that you need to know, you'll have all your files, you've got instant access to supporting content on all of that, and you'll have AI assistance for quick questions supporting any of those as well. What this will build to is, I've used a retail example here, but anywhere where you have multiple units where you're trying to orchestrate the organization, you're going to get better results in those units if everyone knows what they need to be doing and has the tools that they need to do it well, and the communication capability they need to get help when they need it, gives better customer experience, and it's going to mean better commercial results for your organization. With all of that said, I'm quickly going to move over to demo mode. So this is the Employee Hub live. You can see that it is integrated with the Quinyx web apps. It's also integrated with the Quinyx mobile app these days as well. So you'll see a dashboard and then the Employee Hub at the top here. First thing you'll see is the Employee Hub dashboard, and this is a configurable experience to tell whatever story to your organization that you need to. So a central team will design this information, and then the set of permissions and sharing capabilities within the tool will allow specific users to see the content that is most appropriate to them. So in this case, I put a nice branded image at the top as a placeholder for guiding people's attention to what they need to know about. And this says, in my fictional retailer, that Black Friday is going to be a big focus. What you can do to customize this experience further is add widgets. So you can just broadcast all your tasks, your stories, and your files. What you can also do is bring together packages of related content. So for example, here on Black Friday, I can track progress on key tasks. I can see that the in-store displays are 1/4 set up, which at the start of December is probably a bit of a red flag. I can see that a variety of others have been better or worse progressed. I can see a story there that pulls together everything that my team need to know, that started to get some responses. I can see all of my files in one place as well. If I dive into one of these, just to give you a little bit more detail on what they look like. So this is my in-store display task that went out, containing some instructions on what needs to be set out within all of my stores. If I go down to the bottom, I can track how that is progressing across my organization. So here I can see it was sent to North America, to 2 stores in North America, 2 stores in the UK. I can see that one of those stores in the UK hasn't started. So from here, I could send a reminder. I can chat with them. I can see that Tom Spelling in London is midway through something. I can see Babatunde in Oceanside has actually submitted proof that they've done what they needed to and are waiting sign off that they've done so correctly. All of that managed within one system without the need for massive back and forth through distributed systems. If I dig into one of my stories as well, I can see here I've got the ability to add promotional imagery. I can put in all of the key content that my teams need to know. I can add additional files. I can specify when I want this piece of information to be available. Crucially, you can select an audience. So that will be selecting some proportion of my organization. I might choose to target all of my stores. I might choose to target everyone on the East Coast. I might choose to target all of my store managers or all of my area managers with these communications. We have that flexibility for your stories, your tasks, your files. At the bottom, I can see that I've started to get engagement, as I say, so I can respond to people sending messages in and even reply with further information. What I can also do in a story is see where I'm getting these reads from, so you can start to analyze what people are engaging with in the organization. I think I'm going to keep it fairly high level for now. A couple of other things to point out is obviously the calendar, bringing together all of those events, starting to build the context in which your teams work. And it's all supported by reporting as well. So in the reporting capabilities, I'll be able to pick out those KPIs. For example, how many tasks have been sent out, how many of them have not been started despite being past their due by date, and who are the star and problem performers. In story engagement, I can see what sort of read rates I'm getting and which stories are getting the attention and responses from the team. In store activity, I can see which stores are engaging with the content that we're pushing out day by day, week by week. And I can even refine that down to user level information if I need to. As I say, I'm not going to go too deep on the actual demo side of things today because we're trying to keep the focus on the new things that are coming out. But just quickly, I wanted to give you a preview of what it looks like on the mobile as well. So the Quinyx app is obviously known and loved by all of our existing workforce management customers, and it does a great job of surfacing the shift information to your employees. We've now added story and task capabilities to that. So as we'll eventually cycle back to the dashboard, you've now got an experience where your top level will be any pinned stories, anything that's really important that you need your team to know. You'll then have your shifts, you'll then have your tasks, and you'll have a fuller list of all of the stories underneath it as well. And what's really important with this, we see our superpower in this space as being adoption. Because everyone knows and likes the Quinyx mobile app, because they're keen to get it installed so that they can get access to their shifts. It means if you roll out these capabilities within that application, you're going to get a very high level of adoption with your task and communication from day one. With that, I'm actually going to hand over to the main event in Johannes.
Thank you very much, Tom. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Perfect. We can go to the first slide. I wanted to begin to talk a little about some improvements that we are doing to Ava and beginning to talk about what Ava is. So Ava is our virtual assistant in Quinyx, and you can access it if you use Messenger. Ava is available inside Messenger. If you don't use Messenger, there will be a small icon that looks like a little cool robot in the Messenger icon's place, where you can access Ava straight away without using Messenger. And the Ava is, of course, available in the manager portal, web.quinyx.com, in the staff portal, and our mobile apps. And in its current form, Ava can answer questions about Quinyx functionality based on all the information that is available within our help docs documentation. And if we go to the next slide. When we looked at possible improvements and how we could extend Ava's functionality, we have stumbled upon an interesting use case that we want to solve. So one thing that we heard when talking to customers is that they have a lot of internal documentation in other systems or within files and folders in the Employee Hub that is about internal processes, routines, ways of working, best practices, whatever your end users might need to get their hands on in order to be able to do their daily jobs. But the intended recipients of this information usually has a very hard time finding the right information at the right time. Either there's too much information, or it's hidden too deep, or it takes too long to find the right answer. Which makes the case that the customers we talk to usually have one or two people or more internally that end up answering all of these support questions about internal tools and internal documentation, and it takes up a lot of their time unnecessarily. And if we go to the next slide. So we think there's a great opportunity for us to make it possible for Ava to reach information within files where our customers can upload their own documentation into the Employee Hub. So very soon, Ava will be able to go in and answer questions both based on help docs documentation as today, but also based on your internal documentation. For example, what's the healthcare benefits, how long before your summer vacation should you apply for vacation, any other best practices that you have internally and have uploaded. Ava will be able to find those within your files and answer the user that is asking a question straight away. And also linking to the source of where she found the right information, so that the users can go straight into that file and look for more details themselves if they wanted to. And we have run a beta with a chosen amount of customers with this functionality. And so far, it's been a great success, and Ava has performed above our expectations. So we're very eager to get this functionality into our customers' hands. And if we go to the next slide, a little FAQ. So of course, we have a specific logic in the Employee Hub where you can rule which files that Ava have access to, but also who can give access to Ava to certain files. And you can also see some of the document formats that we support in the first version of Ava and files. And we can go to the next slide, where I want to talk about another exciting upcoming functionality in Quinyx. It's Employee Hub tasks that Tom talked about integrated into the schedule view. And if we go to the next page, we know that a lot of our customers work day to day with a lot of events within the schedule view, And of course, the ones that work with our employee hub also work a lot with tasks. Today, they've had to switch between two different systems in order to be able to do the two core use cases. One of them being all the day-to-day changes in the schedule. Someone gets sick, you need to fulfill a shift, you need to change a shift, at the same time as needing to stay on top of all of the tasks that you have in the employee hub. What we have done is making it possible to see and work with all of your employee hub tasks straight from the schedule view. And with this possibility, we believe our customers will be able to understand what needs to be done and who is available to do it when it comes to the tasks. So you might have a lot of tasks that needs to be fulfilled. You can then look at who is working on that day or during that week to see who would be the best person to fulfill that task. Or seeing a big influx of employee hub tasks at the same time, for example, during Christmas preparations or Black Week or Black Friday, you might need to add a couple of additional headcounts into the schedule to be able to fulfill all of these tasks that you have ongoing right now. So this is one of the steps that we're taking to get closer to the all-in-one vision that we have, to make it possible for our customers to work with all the core functions that make sense to belong together at the same time, to streamline the work process that we have in there. And if we go to the next slide. Some details about the task capabilities in the side menu that you saw. So as a manager working in the schedule view with the employee hub activated, you will be able to see all the tasks that is sent to your group, for example, your store. You'll be able to sort on the latest sent or by due date, which are the closest due dates. You'll be able to filter by status. You'll be able to see ongoing or completed tasks in there. You'll be able to switch to only see your own tasks that are directly assigned to you. And you'll, of course, be able to view and edit and forward the tasks straight away from this view if you want to. I think that's it when it comes to these two functions. Questions?
Very good. Thank you, Hans. There was one private question, which was when are these going to be available? I don't know if you can expand on those a little bit, Hans.
Yeah, our hope is that the employee hub tasks in the schedule view will be available in January, and Files and Ava in Q1. We're working very hard to get Files and Ava out to production as soon as possible.
Very good. All right. Other than that, it looks like it's it for questions, barring one around getting more people to sign up for the webinar instantly on us starting. Sorry for missing that one, but hopefully we did get those extra heads, and glad it sounded interesting. All right. I think that's it on the questions side. Last thing we wanted to say today is just to advertise the next Quinyx Unlocked. So January 14th, there'll be another one of these sessions where we'll be talking about employee absence management, so a very different topic. We'll send out more information about this, and the sign up page will be available soon. So if that is interested, do feel free to sign up. I believe you'll get a questionnaire after this as well, so do please fill that in and give us any feedback on how we can make these sessions even more enjoyable and valuable for you. Other than that, thank you very much for your time. Thanks for joining us today, and for those taking one, have an enjoyable seasonal break.
Thank you. Bye-bye.